Good. All right, what's popping, party people? Guess who's back? It's the pundits of pugilism. You know what it is. It's Professor Nims. I'm signing on with Casual Rand, Boston Jared,
Peace.
and Coach Dave.
Oh,
We are the pundits of pugilism. Excuse me. It's been a minute. Little bit of tongue twister there, but you know we had to come back for the fight of the century, which I do not think is hyperbole. But as far as their standing within the general public, their ranking on the pound for pound, their drawing ability, where they're at within their careers, I truly think that this within this century. 21st century, that this is the fight of the century. And of course, we are speaking of Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. So we're going to come in with a quick, nice, and tidy session to give our pundit picks because we know with this fight of the century that y'all were missing out on the most erudite analysis on the net and everything. And we will be back. But with that said, we are going to go through each of the pundits. We're going to have 2 minutes to give a breakdown. And then after that, we're just going to kind of hold. We're not going to kind of give our pick. We're just going to kind of give a breakdown. Then at the end, I'm going to go through. We're going to give our pundit picks. And then I'll also talk about the fight odds that are kind of associated with those picks and stuff like that. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna get on this clock right here. And then so let's start out with Coach Dave. All right, there. So we're gonna give 2 minute analysis and stuff like that. And we're gonna hold off, but I'm gonna just kind of let you know, like once we're at the end of that point and go to the next pundit, but I'm gonna circle back to you. So just think about that, and then you're gonna give your pundit pick once we do that at the end. All right, Coach.
got you,
Great.
got you.
Give
Hey,
us
well,
your breakdown of the fight starting now.
listen, I'm excited to see this fight. I look forward the fight to possibly be a chess match in the beginning with a whole lot of feeling each other out. Terrence Crawford not wanting to be too overeager because he's well aware of Canelo's power. Although I think that there is some confidence in Crawford because when he fought Madrimov at 154, he was a little hesitant in the beginning, but you saw towards the end he really started, feeling himself and putting on the pressure. He was like, "Hey, I can't take these punches." I think Canelo, being a bigger man, yeah, he might try to establish his dominance, but I think that respect is there too, because I think he realizes how strong Terrence was, and everybody has seen how much muscle this guy has
Mm,
put on. So I just don't think there's any underestimation of each other that's going on. I think there's a mutual respect, but I think that this is absolutely going to be a fight where I think skill is going to prevail. I don't think they scared
mm,
each other, man. I don't think anybody's going to be running from each other. I think these jokers fight, but I just think where this is a fight where they absolutely cannot underestimate each other, and I think it's going to be about who is most on point with skills. Skills. Then after the skills, I definitely say uh, I would definitely say the corner is going to come into play.
all right,
What
Coach. About 15 seconds.
All
So
right. So what I mean by that is Terrence Crawford knows he can't get caught up on that rope because he might get hit in the same way, in the same way that twin did, and be like, "Oh crap, this guy can't hit." And at the same time, I think Canelo is going to be aware of. I have got to figure out how to cut this ring off and catch this guy. So, battle of the skills.
all
I don't
right.
think interfere in any man.
So y'all keep that in mind. We haven't given our pick yet and everything, but very kind of sound, kind of a analysis, prognosis, we could say about the fight. We're gonna take it up to Boston Jared. Give us your breakdown of the fight
Uh,
of the century.
Yeah, I don't know about fight of the century, but look, I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying. There's nothing about Crawford's, updated, profile pics or whatever that's really wowed me. It's not, I mean, like I told Dave earlier in the week, it's way too many unknowns going into this fight to make a bet. Crawford has never fought at 168 pounds. He's never taken shots from 168-pound fighters. Uh, Never had to move around or go the distance, 12 rounds at 168 pounds. Never hit guys at 168 pounds. We have no idea how his power is going to carry up. Uh, I think Crawford is the better fighter, and if this
Mm,
fight were taking place at a lower weight, I would favor Crawford. There wouldn't be any question in my mind, but I gotta go with the guy that is more established at the weight. We've seen Canelo's last several fights, as lackluster as they have been. We've seen him go up and take shots from 175 pounders. We've seen him go up there and deliver shots. We've seen him go the distance at 175 pounds and 168 pounds. We know what we're going to get from Canelo on Saturday. Uh, we have no idea what we're going to get from Crawford. It would be as much as y'all know the disdain that I have for Canelo, but I can't pick Crawford
mm,
and sit here and tell you it will be a totally biased pick for me to pick Crawford, man. This fight, I think probably ends in the last third. I think Canelo catches Crawford with something because Crawford's going to fight.
ooh.
He's not going. I don't think his legs can carry him with all that extra weight for 12 rounds. Crawford's going to fight. He'll go out on a shield
All right,
instead of putting up
Boston.
a
Yeah,
lackluster. You
15
said what?
seconds. Now I'm saying 15 seconds. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah. I got Canelo by stoppage in a round. I'll give Crawford until the 10th, ninth or
Well,
10th.
hold
I'll
on
say
one
I'll
second.
say
Hold on.
Crawford
Hold, hold on. Hold
10,
on.
10,
Yeah,
Canelo in 10.
just hold that thought. We're not
Oh,
gonna
right,
get.
right, my fault. That's right. My fault. Shit,
We're
my
gonna
fault.
circle back, son, for those picks. But that was a good breakdown. We kind of know where you're leading, but we'll before we get a picks, because we'll give the odds that are associated with your pundit pick. All right, Casual Rand, give us your breakdown of this fight.
Yeah, not too much. Not too much different than the rest of the pundits, man. But I just feel that at the weight that they're fighting at, I think Canelo is just much stronger. I mean, his look at his neck at that size. He could take punches. He took punches. He um B-ball at a bigger B-ball couldn't even knock out Canelo. So I don't know what Bud is going to bring that's different, and I don't think he's going to the power is going to translate with the weight or come up with the weight. I mean, I the last impressive fight he had was the Spence fight where he dismantled Spence, but I think it's a whole different category. So I don't expect Bud to bring something to bear that will intimidate Canelo. So the problem with this fight will be Canelo chasing down Bud, but Bud isn't known to be sleet of foot and dance around the ring. So I just think that this might be a perfect fight for Canelo to just
Hmm.
eventually, what I'm saying, wear him down. Canelo's known to bust your arms, what I'm saying, to break you down and then just get to you. I just don't see where Crawford I mean Crawford has boxing skills, but when those skills don't translate to meaningful, powerful shots against Canelo, somebody who's has been shown to eat good shots. I don't see how that works unless all of Boston years of insinuation of special
Steroids.
sauce
Yeah.
come into play with this fight.
No, that,
Yeah.
that's that's perfect. Yeah, you hit it on there. All right. So we'll do that, and I'll kind of go and give it. It's interesting. I'm gonna say this before I go into that because y'all are saying this. I'm gonna give a little peek behind the curtains because Coach was asking if anybody wanted to bet on Canelo, and y'all was quiet as a mouse.
No,
But
I
I'm
wasn't
not
quiet. I
betting on
told
this fight.
I
even though
wasn't
y'all haven't
quiet.
got a pick,
I
even though y'all
responded
haven't
to
said
Dave.
it,
I responded
they
to Dave.
exploded.
It's
But no,
crazy.
hold on.
We have no
We
idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
but
not
hold on.
betting on this fight,
No,
man.
we
Right.
say that, but
And
I'm
then
just
you don't know what's going on behind the scenes because you know what I'm saying. Actually, you look at
$100,
that. You look at Canelo's last fight. Like he carried Munguia through the
$100.
whole fight. He carried Berlinga through the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he gonna carry or you know what I'm saying.
I
So
don't know if he carried Berlanga. That's the other thing too.
I think he
I
did.
still can't stand. I still can't stand Canelo. I'm not gonna. I would never bet in favor of Canelo. I still can't bring myself
all
to
right.
do that.
All right, and the picks, y'all haven't given the picks, but all right, let me do my breakdown, and then we'll wrap it up real quick with the
Yeah.
with the pundit picks. All right, so with this said, I mean, we won't get into it. I think it is. I don't know if it's a kind of a lack of the other ones. I think it is the fight of the century. Not definitely wasn't Pacquiao and Mayweather. I mean, that was we won't go get into that. I waste my time, but I think that they are at the tail end of their prime, but still close enough. And this is a matchup that I would not have predicted 3 years ago or so, but to me, it kind of makes sense. I think like I can see it. I've been starting to believe it more. So how I think the fight is gonna play out. I agree with Coach that I think the first few rounds, first at least 2 rounds, are gonna be real cagey. Like we're not gonna see a lot of action. I don't want people to think because it's the fight of the century that it's gonna look like Hearns and Hagler in a sense like that. But no, it's gonna be very cagey. But I can. Normally, I would say that after the third or fourth round that Terrence would open up, but I think because of him not necessarily knowing what to expect at that weight, he'll be a little bit hesitant, and I think that Canelo is going to have some urgency. So I think that while Canelo, where Terrence where he kind of his actual strength kind of shocks people. Like you can kind of see it in the ring. Like when he's out there, he kind of moves people like this dude is strong. I think that Canelo's power is going to be a little bit shocking to Terrence just because he hasn't just been out there. I don't think that he's going to get dropped or whatnot, but I think that he's going to do a little bit of a dance. And so it's going to make it interesting. I'm going to end it there. And then so I'm gonna go ahead and give our pundit picks and stuff
Okay.
like that. So with that said, before I go into it, I'm gonna give the overall odds, and then once I get the pundit pick, I'm gonna tell you those odds associated with that pick. So if you're feeling a little froggy, go ahead and jump. All right. So this is by DraftKings, and the odds right now sit at the money line is Terence Crawford is still the dog, but barely is at plus 135. And Canelo is the favorite at negative 165. So just to kind of make that out. So if you were to bet $100 on Terence Crawford, you would get a payout of 135. And then for Canelo Alvarez, it would take a bet of $165 to get a payout of $100. All right. So with that said, we're gonna go in reverse order. Well, I don't know how these screens are shown by y'all, and then so we're gonna start with the casual ran and give us your pundit pick or whatnot. So this is round the who's gonna win, how they're gonna win it, and if it is by stoppage, please include the round.
I just think that Canelo's power it just may be too much. I think he breaks people down, like he busts your arms up, you know what I'm saying, shoulders up, he hits you everywhere. And if you're not a fighter, if you don't pull a Charlo and get on your bicycle, and if you stay there, then you're gonna get rocked a few times. So with that, I'm saying ninth round. Uh,
Ah.
Canelo finds a way to break your boy down and get him.
All right, so that is if you were to take casual Rand advice and have a ninth round stoppage by Canelo, that is plus 2200. So I mean, I might do that bet, the $100 to get back 2,200. Eee. All right, so Boston Jared, what say you?
Skills pay bills sounds good, but nobody ever sits and asks how much the bills are. Weight classes exist in this sport for a reason. And, as I said on previous shows many, many months ago, Terrence Crawford's inability to make guys miss is what's going to be his undoing going up against bigger, stronger guys. And trying to sit there and catch and block those shots coming from Canelo is it's eventually going to be his undoing here. So yeah, I got Canelo by a late stoppage, probably 10th round. Since Randy already picked 9, I'll go
Okay.
Canelo in 10.
So those odds are the same, ninth and the 10th, at plus 2,200 there. So if you want to back it up and you wanted to kind of increase your probability, for example, so if you say Canelo by KO, that's plus 850. So and then if you do Canelo by TKO, is plus 600. So the difference being a KO is where you are counted out, and then a TKO is a stoppage that can kind of happen under myriad of reasons, like the referee, cuts, if it's from punches, can be a TKO as well. All right, Coach Dave.
Man, I got Crawford by decision. I think people forget what Mayweather and Bivol did to this
Mm,
guy.
mm.
And I agree if Crawford stand there and he gets shots. I agree with everything that the other two pundits said, but uh, I definitely got Crawford by decision all day.
All right, so Crawford by a decision or technical decision play is a whopping plus 200. So so so
That shit crazy, man.
$100.
Crazy. Crawford, the Crawford effect, man. People think this guy is a superhero, man.
Yeah.
And before you go with yours, Professor, let me just say this too about because what the casual said about Canelo busting folks down. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but on the internet, Crawford been talking junk like, "Hey, I've been having problems with my arms, and my they've been sore." And he goes, but they don't tell Canelo that as if he wants Canelo to come and beat.
Yeah.
They prep for this guy. I
Man, that's that reverse psychology. You can prep all you want till you feel you get busted in that joker.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but they busting bigger jokers. That's what I'm saying. They busting bigger jokers. You a smaller dude. You know what I'm saying? You're a strong, smaller dude, but you know what I'm saying? You still a smaller dude. He busted bigger jokers down, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah, but them guys, there's some asterisks with them guys, Randy. There's some asterisks with
Hey,
those
listen,
guys.
listen.
Callum Smith was
Balance.
emaciated. He took that shit on. He took that shit on like 7 weeks notice. He cut all that weight. Callum Smith is massive. Kovalev was old. I don't think Kovalev has fought since that fight. I think maybe one time he missed weight for that fight. He was old. So I understand. I'm with you, Randy, to an extent, but I wouldn't use those fights as an example
I'm
of him
not, but you know what I'm
breaking
saying?
down
It's
bigger
still a
guys.
style to, you know what I'm saying, break you down. But I don't think Crawford never been a sleek-footed, like, you know what I'm saying, like a defensive Mayweather type fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like you said,
Yeah,
he
that's what I was
get
saying.
hit. And you know what I'm saying? You can't get hit at that weight to think and still think that you're gonna overcome and give that.
Well, that's what the conventional boxing wisdom is, but the reality is we have no idea what's going to happen when Canelo hits him. We have no idea what's going to happen when Bud
Yeah,
hits
and
Canelo.
yeah,
We
Canelo
just
could
have, we
hit
just have we
hard.
just have no idea. I'm just going off of what the conventional boxing wisdom is here. We have no idea what's going to happen Saturday night.
man,
There's just no data.
I've been looking at historical data, man. I'd have been looking at George Foreman and daggone Muhammad Ali. You stay on that joke, you got a big, powerful man that's just gonna be pounding on you. He might not tire out like George Foreman did, but here he come. Let's get ready to catch these shots. And then I would mix in a little bit of that Mayweather stuff. We might can't move as much. You might have to be on that rope. But bro, if I could have Crawford, if I could say, here's this Ali style, and then let's mix a little bit of this Mayweather style, and then you bring your own funk and your attitude on this thing, we're gonna surprise this joker.
We're talking about history. When's the last time somebody jumped up all those weight classes and beat somebody?
So not only are we talking about history, but we might be even talking making
Sugar Shane.
Yeah.
Shane was on that stuff too. Shane was on that shit.
I ain't bring that up, but so.
I'm gonna say that
if Bud were to win, would he be pound for pound the greatest fighter in the world for jumping up and being?
We kind of don't.
That's another show.
Like
Go
that,
ahead.
that's another like
Damn.
come on.
Three-time
Like,
undisputed.
we don't even get there. He hasn't even do that. Let me get my
stay on track
pick.
here.
Yeah, let's stay on track. Let me get my punting pick. All right, so I kind of gave my breakdown, and man, I'm gonna be honest with this. Like, I don't want to make this kind of seem like I'm sorry. I keep hitting that like that I'm fickle, but I had my pick in my mind kind of made up. I thought up until today, but I'm going to kind of go with conventional wisdom.
Wow.
That yeah, and I think that even
I'm on the island by myself.
it is. I got Canelo Alvarez by a split decision, which is a 550 payout, which isn't bad. Because I think that it's going to be a really close fight. I still think that this will be a home fight for Canelo. He's definitely cross. So they're gonna respond to him. And the fact that he's a bigger guy, Terrence is gonna react a little bit more. Like, even though Terrence has a pretty good poker face and stuff like that, but Canelo's taking punches from big guys who walk around at over 200 pounds. So I just think that I think that Terrence is going to outbox him at certain points, but I think Canelo's going to show a little bit something different in this fight, even though he hasn't looked good, which is why I'll do that. But I think he understands this moment, and I think that I don't think he's gonna stop, but I actually think he's gonna kind of hurt him at some point. I think that is just like Canelo has really good power. It's the way that he his technique is really sharp. He has like everything has to be kind of firing off at at the right time for that power to come together. But Terrence can, chin is a little bit shaky, but he's in such good shape that he's not going to get dropped, I don't think. And then his recovery skills are just kind of out this world. So, but the thing is, as Boston says, we don't know. This is why we want to see this is why boxing is the, pound for pound, the best sport. It offers the most drama. It has that, like, boxing is the only sport that has if you need a 20-point home run or 3-point shot, you actually have that in boxing. If you can stop somebody, ask Julio Cesar, Chavez or whatever. We actually have that in boxing, so it provides that. We've seen these upsets, and we have what I think that maybe not for entertainment value, but I think for status, skill level, and accomplishment, I think that this is the fight of the century. With that said, let's go with our closing arguments for each of the pundits. I'm going to go, guys, we do that. So we're going to start with Boston on this one. And then I'm going to go second because I shouldn't end every segment. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing closing arguments. I kind of already made my closing arguments, man.
But I'm saying, I'm sorry about it. But I mean, this can be in general, so it can be, you can make a comment about it not being the fight of the century, but just like a kind of a closing statement that you.
Yeah, no, definitely not the fight of the century. This isn't just me personally a fight. This wasn't a fight that I was checking for. This wasn't a fight that I would have made. I understand it's very, very lucrative for Bud, and that's good on him. But as a boxing fan, this wasn't what I was looking for him to jump up to 168. But yeah, like I said, man, when you move up in weight, you're a little guy moving up and fighting bigger guys, man. One of the reasons why Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, James Toney, Floyd Mayweather, even a guy like Guillermo Rigo, who was a teeny tiny guy, was fighting guys much bigger than him throughout his career. The reason they were able to go up there and have success was because they are able to make guys miss. And Terrence Crawford has got a lot of boxing ability, but his ability to make guys miss is just not it's
That's a
not
good
on
point.
par with what his offensive skill set is. His defense just this is not in his repertoire. He's done it, he can do it, but not at the same level as does those guys. Your Mike McCallum's, uh, James Toney, Whitaker, Floyd, and that's what you need, especially going up from 154 to 168, which is a significant jump, guys. That's a big jump. And if we look back at history, man, guys going up, jumping up in weight and fighting those bigger guys, man, they don't normally do very well. Somebody had mentioned Shane Mosley earlier, and I don't know, that's a good example, man. Shane, I had a lot of familiarity with Oscar from the both Southern California guys, both rival gyms, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they had sparred in the past. A lot of experience with each other, and Shane was also on PED. So I don't know that I don't know that that's a good example. So yeah, nah,
Uh,
I
yeah, I was
hope
about to
I'm
say like
wrong. I
we
hope
actually
I'm wrong.
don't even have
Hope-
to say allegedly because I think he actually admitted to it on record. But I was
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. No, he's admitted to. He ain't gotta say allegedly. He went up there
okay.
and testified that he was on that stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's where I'm at. I hope Bud proves me wrong. You guys know that I'm the founder and founding member of the Canelo Hate
hey,
Brigade. That's all. That's been my MO for as long as you guys have
yeah,
known me,
yeah.
man.
It
But
is. Yeah,
I can't.
if Canelo was P. Diddy, you'd be 50 Cent. So it's like
Right.
you'd be leading the charge. All right, so I'll go. I would say that I had a really good point. I do want to kind of acknowledge the point that uh, Boston made earlier about the kind of weight classes and how we kind of we've seen this, but it's been in the like the lower weight classes, and then that Terrence really doesn't like with the other fighter doesn't have that or doesn't necessarily show the ability to make people miss. And I thought that was a good point but I think part of it is a sacrifice because Terrence is a switch hitter, and usually when you are, there's one side that you're less responsibly like, or you're less defensively like responsible. Just it's because of like angles. It's kind of out there, but I think part of that is why you do see kind of Terrence get clipped sometime. But I think overall, I hope it's a good sign. This marks a new paradigm for boxing. Boxing is the biggest fight is on Netflix. So ostensibly it's kind of free with a subscription and stuff. We've never really seen
Ish.
this. Yeah, free-ish. We never really seen this before. This is also Turkey Al Sheikh working with Dana White, TKO Boxing. I don't know what that brings. And then there is the kind of specter of what does this mean for Canelo and Crawford after this fight? Because I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them, you know, particularly after winning, was said, you know what, it's been one, I'm cool. Um, so I think that adds some kind of there's these precarious notions that are out there that I think is going to make this a really really good weekend. I hope that it builds up a little bit more energy. To me, it doesn't feel as big of a fight that's actually happening at an outdoor arena in the U.S. at Raiders Stadium, Allegiant. This should be super super big. I'm going to treat it as such, but I hope it is a good sign for boxing. At this point, I don't know. But we'll go to Coach Dave, and then we'll end with Casual Rand will give us our final word.
All right. Okay. Let me give my closing remarks, man. Just definitely in the bullets. As I said before, I think this is going to be a true fight to where you see really where this thing is called boxing for reasons. It is going to be about skills, and Terrence Crawford has absolute superior skills. Canelo is a great fighter. He is not a great boxer. Period. This is going to be about skills. Second thing I would say to Jared's point about a little men moving up. Listen, I think you're getting ready to see this modern day example of the greatest little man versus a big man fight ever. And that's David and Goliath. I ain't saying he's gonna chop that giant's head off, but I'm getting ready to say Goliath about to take a fall. And real quickly, last point to your point, Professor, and I hope we can have a talk about it. Canelo wins, hey, go on home. Crawford win, go on home. Canelo loses, you got to prove a point. You might be willing to go ahead on and fight the monster then, which you've been running from as well, just to get your face back.
I love it. I love it. Great. That's a great send off. All right, Casual Rand.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, man. I'm glad the fight is happening. This has been a real lackluster year so far in boxing. So hopefully this is the spark that we needed to bring some better fights with especially the closing of the year. Look like we do have some movement coming in October, November time frame with some good fights coming up. So therefore, I'm excited about this fight because it is bringing the sport of boxing back to the forefront, which where it deserves, and people are tuning in. And I appreciate the TKO folks for this time for putting it on a freest network, like you mentioned. But moving forward, man, I hope we see more good, exciting fights from the new class of young fighters coming up.
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. This is a big fight. This brought us out. This brought us back together. So this big. You brought the pundits out. So we're gonna keep it short. This is your man, Professor Neil. I'm signing off for Coach Dave,
Earth.
Boston Jared,
Peace.
Casual Rand.
Peace.
We are the pundits of pugilism, and we'll see you at the weigh-ins. Let's go. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.